All right, so now we talked about all the side projects. Let's talk about their big battle with Ticketmaster. So Pearl Jam, let's go all the way back to 1994. So Pearl Jam has been one of the acts over the years that has really taken it to Ticketmaster and scalping. And this is gets like a big deal because especially now because there's been so much in the news about how much like Taylor Swift tickets were going for and Springsteen tickets and all this other shit. So all the way back 1994, way back in the day, Pearl Jam played a charity show in Chicago, and Ticketmaster was charging one of their service fees. And Pearl Jam was like, "Dude, what are you doing, man? This is a charity show." And Ticketmaster wouldn't budge. So Pearl Jam then started sending letters out to concert promoters saying like, "Hey man, we only want to play at venues that will only charge 18 bucks a ticket and the fees would be no more than $1.80. So fans could come see us for less than 20 bucks. Imagine now going to see Pearl Jam for less than $20. Just
No
crazy,
fucking way.
right?
I spent over $300 to see them a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. So not that long ago, right? That you could ticket. This is how much tickets have gone through the roof in
Oh man.
20 years. Venues all around the country were like, "No thanks, man. We're not doing that. We need to make our money." So Pearl Jam canceled. They had a whole tour planned in 1994, and they canceled it over this. So then Pearl Jam took another avenue, and they sent a letter to the Department of Justice saying the Ticketmaster is a monopoly. And Jeff Ament and Stone Gossard actually went and testified before Congress. And it's great, man, because they roll in and they're wearing like their flannel shirts and their baggy jeans, and they look like musicians. They weren't dressed apart. And Stone Gossard was like, "Hey man, all the members of Pearl Jam remember what it's like to be young and not have a lot of money. Many of our fans are teenagers that don't have money to pay, and having to pay $30 or more for tickets is just outrageous." Again, 10 times more money now. And at the same time, there was all these class action lawsuits against Ticketmaster, and the class action lawsuits were eventually dismissed, and the Department of Justice didn't do anything about it. But you think about it, at the time when Pearl Jam was making a big stink about this, they were like one of the biggest bands in the world, and they were fighting this fight. And this is also years before Ticketmaster merged with Live Nation. So then like Ticketmaster owns the ticketing and Live Nation owns the venues. And now it's kind of a monopoly. And at one point, Pearl Jam tried going around this, saying that, well, back up a little bit too. There was another ticketing company before Ticketmaster. There was Ticketron.
Oh, I remember Ticketron.
Ticketron was like a competitor, and Ticketmaster bought them, and then they kind of became like the monopoly. And then Pearl Jam tried like going around Ticketmaster by playing venues that Ticketmaster didn't own the rights to, like outdoor places.
Yeah, or Randall Island and shit.
Yeah, they had all these weird places, and then they tried with like, well, we're going to do all of our concerts as like benefits, since Ticketmaster had contracts with some of these venues. Like, well, if it's a charity show, we won't charge as much fees, or if it's a charity show, the venue can do their own like ticketing and not go through Ticketmaster. But eventually all of that became too much of a mess, and that's when the band just said like F it, and they gave up.
They were doing, remember, like raffles?
Yeah.
To get tickets and shit. Now, all that bullshit they did with all that, who got hurt? The fucking fans.
Right, the fans.
The fans want to see the band, and the band was too cool to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but they try.
No, they trying to change shit. I get it, but you hurt the fans. You know how many times I wanted to see Pearl Jam, but I couldn't? It's
and you lose time, right? They didn't tour for a couple of years because of all this shit. Or it becomes, remember there's so many rules around like show an ID, and you couldn't scalp your tickets. Like they were trying to cut off all that crap, all that too. And it's also like, sometimes if you buy tickets to something, shit happens and you can't go.
Sure.
I've never once bought tickets with the intention of I'm going to buy these, I'm going to flip them and make a lot of money. But I've had concerts that I've had tickets for that I'm like, something happened, I'm traveling for work, and I can't get home in time or whatever.
There's never been a part of me that wanted to sell off my tickets.
Yeah, it's always been out of necessity, and even like again, my I didn't think I told you this. This is so my pastor at my church texted me and said, "You want to go get tickets to see Metallica?"
Nice.
And I was like, "Yeah, I do. I would love to go to Metallica with you." But they were so expensive.
I know I'm
And
going.
are you?
I bought the two
Did you?
night pass. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
I
like,
just
dude, it was like close to 700.
yeah, we're like we couldn't do it, or even like going to Jelly Roll. We were looking at Jelly Roll tickets at Massacre Garden, and they were like $300. And I'm like, I like Jelly Roll. I don't like a $300. I'd much rather get the free tickets where I got
Yeah.
I got free food and drinks and sat in a box all at night for work. But
I wouldn't
yeah,
even
man,
go
just
see him for free.
dude, he was awesome. He really was, and his story of like being in prison and getting out and kind of trying to make right with people, and he talks a lot about like mental health, and he was like
I
if you
never knew he was in jail.
yeah, he was in prison,
No.
and he was like Jesus and music kind of turned my life around. And
Yeah.
he has like testified before Congress about like, hey man, I used to sell drugs and now I want to be part of the solution. And he was selling he has a new album that just came out last week, and he was like at his show, he's like, if you pre-order it, I'll autograph it for you, but I'm not making any money off of it. All the money goes to like a mental health organization.
Oh, that's cool.
He seems like he's like a redemption story, and I really like, even when he came out, he didn't come out on the stage, he came out through the crowd, and he was like hugging all these people, and he's like, I yeah, we're going to talk about mental illness, we're going to talk about drug addiction, we're going to own all of it today.
I
It was
like that.
really, I was cool with his message. If you know, I get it, his music may not be your thing, but he seems like a pretty cool story.
So he's like one of the good guys.
Yeah, it seems like he yeah, right. We always say we like rooting for good people, and he seems like he was a really bad dude. Um,
Turned around.
yeah, he said now like he's like he robbed some people when he was younger, and he would love to find who they are and like apologize to their face for robbing them 20 years ago. And seems like he just got his shit together, and he honestly he just said he found Jesus and started making music and just kind of turned his life around. It was very I found it to be a very inspiring story, but
Maybe I'm just not paying attention to him.
yeah, it's okay.
Maybe I'm missing out on something here.
But and you missed the opportunity because the tickets are $300 too. And you're like,
Oh,
you know, I'm not gonna go pay $300 to see somebody I'm just, you know, I'm on the fence about. If tickets are $20, I'd be like, yeah, maybe, but not 300.
it's not fish or anything.
Right, right. So,
Which I spent a
um,
lot of money on for their tickets for New Year's.
did you?
Fuck yeah, I did.
I went to when I saw Social Distortion last weekend. I saw them at the Starland Ballroom. I had never been there.
I
Up
love
in
it there.
dude, I was like, dude, it was a half hour from my house. I was in and out. There was no lines. I mean, the place was a madhouse
Yeah.
inside, but it was great. I was like, shit,
Yeah, I
maybe
like
need
it
to see
there.
more easy parking, easy to get out of.
Yep.
No,
Saraville, New Jersey, right?
yeah. And I was
Bon
talking,
Jovi land.
yeah, yeah. And I was talking to the bartender and just shooting a shit. And she's like, "You seem like a nice guy. Here's 2 free tickets to see the Machine on Friday night. They're playing
Ooh.
and I have
Is
something
that
to
the
do.
Pink Floyd cover band?
Yeah, the one that we saw.
Oh yeah, when I was a better drummer than their drummer.
And I right, 'cause they're the ones that play.
Yeah,
They,
we went and
they're
saw them at the Keswick.
yeah, Black Friday. They play Black Friday every year at the Keswick.
Yes, yes.
And yeah, I gave the tickets to my daughter because I was like, I got something to do. I'm taking the missus out. The missus and I are going out to dinner on Friday. We had reservations, so I was like, you go to that. But anyway, circling back to Pearl Jam. So yeah, so they tried to fight Ticketmaster, and you're right, the fans get screwed. Because I remember that too, being a kid and thinking like, well, this kind of sucks. 'Cause, like, you're the ones getting boxed out. They're taking the stand, but the fans are getting hosed.
I mean, it was so hard to get tickets. They made a joke about it on The Simpsons. You know, it's
Okay.
like it was the episode when Mr. Burns turned into an alien when he was,
I remember that. Yeah.
and Jimbo had a sign it's like, "Alien dude, I need 2 tickets to Pearl Jam."
Pearl Jam.